What up, everybody? Welcome to Dictate the Day. I'm Dick, and I sincerely hope everyone is taking their day. Okay, all right. Got another great show for you today. The clips I got, you know how I like to do it. They are thought-provoking and purely entertainment. But as far as like reality shifting, eye-opening, and a little bit of holy shit, yeah, be prepared. But you know how I like to do it? I like to step into my mode, get the vibe right, find the frequency, and we'll get into the whole damn thing. Give me just a second. Yeah.
I wish I could give you up, but you're my new favorite drug. Enter into my blood, run with my toxic love. Look how you make me happy. You take a hold of me. You take a hold of
Okay, enough. I'm sorry. You know I gotta do it every time though. It's kind of it's my thing. All right. Before we get into this, I wanted to have a little bit of community love, if you know what I mean. Shout out to one of my subscribers, one of my watchers, super powerful individual. You know, I don't like to put people on blast, you know, because they may want to keep things on the secret. You know who you are. I'll give a cryptic hint. My weapon of excellence. Hey, all right. Coming all the way from down under. Thank you so very much, man. I love the engagement. I love the information. Truthfully eye-opening kind of stuff. Really appreciate you. I got a new one, too. A new subscriber. Looks like he's from New Zealand. He or she, I don't know. Either way, thank you very much. You know, Australia, New Zealand, that whole area is one of my favorite places in the world. Never been there. Really want to check it out. But it's like my bucket list dream destination. So I just think it's so very cool that I get to interact with people from that part of the world. And thank you very much. Hell, thank you, YouTube, for making it all possible. Okay. Let's get the show fired up, shall we? Okay. Like I said in the beginning, strictly entertainment. All this is just for fun. But sometimes fun can be a little out there. So, yeah, watch this. This first clip I'm almost 50 years old. And I had no idea that just like that says that there are countries living in different years than 2025. What? Watch this. Did anyone else learn this in school or learn this on their journeys through life? Like, what the?
Everyone on Earth is living in 2025, starting with Thailand. Do you know they're in the year 2568? And I'm going to show you a bunch more. But I want you to also know that AI doesn't want you to talk about this, and I'll show you in a minute. But they removed this over and over as I talked about this. Japan, it's 2685. Iran, it's 1404. India, it's 1947. That's the only one that makes sense, right?
I guess.
China is 4723. Ethiopia is 2018. And guys, if I missed any, let me know, like in the comments. I didn't realize this was so common. Saudi Arabia is 1447. Nepal, it's 2082. And North Korea, it's 114 right now. Bangladesh, 1432. And Myanmar, 1386. Again, why would ChatGPT and AI erase this and not want us to talk about this? We should talk about this. Did you know not everyone...
I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so watch. This video is going to get buried. Whatever. So before I put this up, I was like, is this even for real? So I went to AI and I started asking it questions, and it did not want to give it to me. It kept giving me these weird, like, roundabout excuses. I can't remember exactly how it worded it, but it wouldn't give me any kind of like dates lined up until I was like, specifically, hey, look, give me these countries, give me their calendar dates, da 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 da. And then it would give like excuses of why they do it. So weird. I had no idea. Like, how does the banking system work if they're, sending money that is dated 1947 to a country that's in 2025? Is there some kind of, how have I never heard about this before? What is time anyway? I just thought that was so interesting, but yet I have no answer. I understand that there's a Gregorian calendar, like the Ethiopians go by that one. They're still in 2018. But I just don't understand the other ones. Some of them are like religiously based, I guess. And if somebody knows what that is, or can maybe give me a general explanation of what that is, I feel like it's just the whole calendar, the whole time, the whole 8-hour workday, the whole 40-hour work week. It's all just handcuffs, bro. It's some form of control and manipulation. Entertainment. Okay. Crazy, right? Next. Holy shit.
Fucking hell, guys, a weather researcher has warned that we could be currently in the middle of a once-in-a-6,000-year extinction event. Jesus Christ, looking at today's news headlines, it often feels like the world is about to end any day. With global conflicts, climate issues and political tension, it's not surprising that people jerk about living through the end times recently. Jesus, now a new warning from a space weather specialist has added to that feeling. He claims that humanity may already be in the middle of a rare catastrophic cycle, one that could bring about what he calls a geomagnetic disaster unlike anything in modern memory. It ties into what he describes as Earth's repeating disaster cycle, a pattern he believes has shaped life and extinction events across the planet's history. Ben Davidson, who founded the science platform Space Weather News, shared his concerns during a recent podcast. His predictions were nothing short of dramatic. According to Davidson, Earth could face a series of devastating consequences ranging from giant tsunamis to global climate destruction and even mass extinction. He suggests that up to 90% of life on the planet could be at risk if events that he describes do unfold. While this may sound like a scene out of a fucking horror film, Davidson insists his warning should be taken seriously. Jesus Christ, he attributes the looming crisis to a rapid shift in Earth's magnetic poles. This, he argues, could be triggered by what he calls a solar micronova. So basically, solar flares could potentially cause our own magnetic poles to switch and flip, which would potentially cause catastrophic events worldwide. He argues that this could potentially it could absolutely destroy the planet. Fucking hell, guys, a weather researcher has warned.
If you watch my channel, pardon me, I talk about this all the time. I talk about Ben Davidson. I talk about the suspicious observers, the space weather. Those are, his channel, some of his titles and whatnot. I'm not going to try to explain or to go into it again. I'll just say, check it out. Because when I found this many years ago, I think we're going on. It's been a while. I can't really remember. But it resonated with me for some reason. And I just thought to myself, well, this kind of makes sense, and the more information I gain, the more sense it makes to me. Entertainment, and I don't know. But I think it's worth looking into. That's all I'm saying. Because if you know anything about at least the history we have access to, or some of the common sense signs of our history, and the loss of whole species, the loss of civilizations, like just disappearing, technologies, thought processes. It appears to be on a cycle, And these numbers kind of line up. That's all I'm going to say. All right, entertainment. Let's go. Woo.
There is this increasingly fascinating thread about a recurrent disaster cycle and the possibility that sophisticated civilizations get erased and that we rediscover. Exactly.
Yes.
And I, I wish that was a crazy story. It sounds like it should be, but I will say the evidence is far too compelling to dismiss it. So I think we have to be open to that possibility. And, we seem to be heading into one of these catastrophic upheavals, which is something, while we're busy dicking around with climate change, which is not what we're pretending it is, we are not dealing with this hazard to our civilization and figuring out how to protect ourselves. There is this increasingly...
I just thought I'd put that up because it kind of went on along with what I was talking about there. That's the JRE. I can't remember this gentleman's name. Scientist of some sort. But yeah, entertainment. And if you do just a little bit of research and you're interested about where we're heading, what's going on, all that kind of stuff, it's kind of captivating. So I put it up there for you. Because I love you and I'm trying to share my knowledge. And that's, or at least things I've stumbled onto that I think might help me understand more, help my viewers understand more, and then maybe together, we can get some type of grasp on what's going on, what's going to happen, how to prepare, Okay, let's just keep it rolling. Let's go. Entertainment. Huh?
But guess what else BlackRock is actually doing? BlackRock and Blackstone just went beast mode on U.S. utilities. They're not buying tech startups anymore. They're buying that power that keeps AI alive. Because not only is AI about to collapse America's power grid, ChatGPT alone consumes enough energy to power 1.3 million homes daily. We need 200% more capacity now. New plants take 5 years. U.S. electricity prices are also at record highs. After your electricity bills doubled this year, it's about to double again because someone has to pay for AI. In the next 10 years, AI power demand will quadruple. AI data centers will use 1,600 terawatt hours of power by 2035. Charles, can you? Okay, never mind. 4.4% of all electricity on Earth. That is 4.4% of all electricity on Earth. If AI data centers were a country, they'd rank 4th in electricity use behind China, the US, and India. And lastly, BlackRock and Blackstone just bid $6.2 billion for Minnesota Power. And this is per Millionaire Tips on Instagram.
Okay. That's the Truth Disorder podcast. I've recently found them. It's super cool. Shout out and thank you for your information. To all the people that I get my clips from, Ross Lyon, the JRE, the Toilet Media, all of them. Thank you so very much. AI and the power, because it needs some of that. I just feel like if we weigh the pros and the cons here, because we're talking about the loss of jobs, the electricity, the pull and constraint. Some governments are already switching over to AI, like making decisions and whatnot. Police forcing. Man, I don't know. As far as like, should we or should we not? And it's already happening. I don't know. And yeah, my electric bill has doubled. And if it does it again next year, and I've put up a couple of these videos about this whole power issue with our artificial stuff. If I'm having to pay more money for my electricity to make these things possible, I shouldn't have to pay for the upgraded version. of whatever AI is using, and I'm helping, pay for. Not to mention the water that is used to cool these places down. This is all just entertainment, but it is worth you looking into some of these subject matters, because this technology, yes, affects us in many ways, but ways that we don't even understand or that they're not telling us yet. That's all. That's it. All right, let's roll up. Roll.
There's been a warning given by the Australian Federal Police, and they said that anyone that is viewed in Australia to be eroding social fabric
That's the word.
will be held accountable.
Yeah, so if you said do civil non-compliance, you are charged with eroding.
Eroding social fabric
What does that
is so vague
Yeah.
because it's subjective to their interpretation as to what is interrupting what they think is a wonderful society. It's up to them. They've put those words in place. The Australian Federal Police are using a vague term to be able to basically
do what they want.
Do what they want. There's been a warning given by the Australian Federal Police.
Yeah, that's one of those weird, legal terminologies that, give the authorities, entertainment, a hall pass to just say you've broken a rule and you need to be punished because your view doesn't, align with my view, and therefore that's eroding social fabric. What are we doing? The subscribers and viewers that I shouted out in the beginning, I've been getting a little more light on what's happening in other countries as far as their government, their politics, their control. It's just a nightmare everywhere. And when it comes down to it, I have to be real careful with the next thing I'm going to say. We're letting this happen because, we outnumber the powers that be. And all we got to do is decide as a group that we don't like it and it needs to change. That's it. Entertainment. I'm kidding. Damn. This is like that UK thing where if you say something on social media, they'll put you in jail for a couple years because you said something that they don't. God. Here we go. Oh my God.
Last living Apollo astronaut.
Before I let this clip play, I got to explain it a little bit. Danny Jones had a podcast with an astronaut. One of them, I can't remember his name, that went to the moon. We'll probably hear it here. That's the gentleman right there. Oh, Charlie Duke, that guy right there, went to the moon. So he says. And then across the table on that same podcast, I haven't watched it yet. These podcasts are so long and so interesting, and I've got stuff to do. It's hard, but I do want to check it out. But I can't remember the guy that is, debating him on whether or not it was even possible for us to go through the Van Allen belt and all these things that could potentially prove entertainment that there's no way we could have gone to the moon. So yeah, what they're talking about here is some of the inconsistencies in the story. And I watched probably 15 to 20 different clips of this interview. And I consider myself a pretty good people reader, especially when I can see your eyes. And there's just something about, all respect to this old man. And it could be like an MK Ultra situation where he's kind of just repeating the same thing over again, but it doesn't really add any convincing to the situation. Like I said, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but it is worth a little research. I'm going to play this clip, and then I got one after it, which kind of coincides. Okay, let's go.
It's Charlie Duke, who's 90 years old, and they went at it.
Yeah, I know. Danny texted me clips.
Same.
He also told me that now he's convinced we didn't go to the moon.
Dude, he said that to me too. He was like, I think maybe they were MK Ultra to think they went to the moon, because he just apparently Charlie Duke just kept saying the same thing, which is like, I'm telling you how to bring back 200 pounds of moon rocks.
He said it like 10 times.
72 hours on the moon. We brought back 200 pounds of moon rocks or thereabouts. Where did 200 pounds of moon rocks come from?
I just showed you. Von Braun picked him up from Antarctica. There's a picture of that on the web, picking up lunar meteorites before he went to the moon for the first time. Seems like a weird use of his time. Moon rocks have proven to be fake, and according to a contractor that I spoke to at length, he says NASA has ceramics labs which can mimic moon rocks.
Well, I walked on the moon. I don't know about anybody else, but
Right.
John
Yeah, you
Young
keep saying that. We know that. You've been saying it for 56 years, and you're not going to admit your guilt. Nobody who was, brought to trial for
we're just
World War
trying
crime
to.
ever
We're
admitted their
going
guilt
through
either.
each piece of evidence and trying to rationally analyze what it means and let the audience decide.
Well, imagine, look, I described my dream and my memory of my dream, which is really just my memory of my recollection of my dream. Imagine what his is like. What is his memories like? I can tell you memories of profound things, like knockouts from fights that I had. I don't really remember them that well. Like somebody sent me a video that's on YouTube of me knocking out this guy in 1987 with a spinning back kick to the body. And it's like kind of crazy video because the guy goes flying through the air.
It's your famous kick.
I barely remember it. Barely remember it because I fought so many times, but also it's just too long ago. I know I did it. And then I saw the video. I was like, oh, that's how it happened. Wow. That's kind of crazy. But I don't really remember it. I remember my retelling of my memory. And now imagine it's a retelling of a memory from 1969. And
Totally.
you're fucking Biden's age.
Yep.
You're out there, man.
Last living upon.
Okay. I just had this thought, and I'm going to share it. And this is me just thinking out loud, hypothetical. I don't know if what I'm about to say could even really be real. So I'm just thinking this is a part of this entertainment exchange that we're doing here. Even like the Red Hot Chili Pepper song, it was shot in a Hollywood basement or whatever. And let's say that, because we know MK Ultra is a thing because there's paperwork on it. There's, Freedom of Information Act. What if while they were shooting, if it's fake, all of that stuff, the astronauts and the people directly involved into the situation were under this mind control. So while they're in a studio or in a stage or whatever it is, they are somehow hypnotized or controlled in some chemical way to think that what they're experiencing is real as they're sitting inside the spaceship, although they're just in a studio in a Hollywood basement or something, or their key words that they're able to trigger, like how a sleeper cell works. Hey, you're about to go to the moon. And then from that moment on, they think everything that's happening is real. And then when it's all said and done, boom. Because have you seen those guys when they're being interviewed on the stage and they're talking about, how they didn't see any stars and all kinds of... It's very, very strange. That's all I'm saying. Entertainment. All right. If you got some thoughts, put it in the comments. Because my thoughts are all over the place. If I were to tell you everything I was thinking on it, you know what I mean? We'd be at 4 hours into this whole thing. All right. Here we go. Woo! Roll up. Let's oge, lads. Let's oge.
Sometimes something a little different happens.
Whoops, I'll get it.
Sometimes.
You look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot
Hollywood
is so
basement.
clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
See the hair?
And we can totally see the hairspray that is quite obviously in your hair. Now keep your eyes right here.
All of these. Watch this. What's he pulling on?
He obviously pulls on something, a wire harness,
Wire work.
something.
You can see his
Oh my
pocket.
gosh, you guys, look how everything is floating. Look at that.
How is that water in the glass?
Oh, except the water. Don't look at that. Larry?
Oh, this
Larry. Larry, you're in the shot, Larry. Can you please... No, don't put your coffee down.
My question is, how can you operate a lid on the outside of the space station by manipulating something mechanical on the inside of the space station without losing air pressure.
It's called real good engineering.
Hell no. Watch this. The tortilla. That keeps
a tortilla?
the cold of space and everything. The cabin pressure, you know, like he was talking about.
Figures it out.
Come on, man.
Sometimes something a little different happens.
Whoops, I'll get it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go. Oh my God.
You know, he's got top secret clearance, and he found the Immaculate Constellation project, basically a PowerPoint presentation. And his job was just to sort these files. And he's looking through it, and suddenly it's like, whoa, this is about recovery and alien craft. And he did the right thing and went to his superiors and said, you know, there's a leakage. I saw information I maybe wasn't supposed to. I'm just letting you know. And his superiors were like, forget about it. And he's like, and that was it. It's just no reprimand, no nothing. I just went back to work. But he was too fascinated by the document, so he kept pursuing it and pursuing it. And now he talks about it. I don't know his name, but if you track down, you know, Jeremy and George, you'll find it easily. That's the kid.
Yeah. So here's a way that I would kind of try to debunk that if I was being logical. If I was the government and I did have some very sophisticated propulsion system that's beyond the understanding of what we think to be current state-of-the-art physics, like far beyond that, I think I might release a bunch of horse shit about UFOs.
100%.
Yeah, I might put a bunch of that stuff out there to say, oh, it can't be ours. It's not ours. It's not of this world.
Muddy the waters.
Yeah, not just that, but attach like really kooky stuff to stuff that's real, so that you think the real stuff is kooky.
Right, like the drone scare. Remember that? That was very manufactured, and the press was all over it. We don't know where the drones are. They're all flying over the military bases, all of that stuff.
What do you think that was?
I know what it was. I've seen the NOTAM reports. You know what a NOTAM is?
No.
That's a notice to airmen. So pilots, private pilots, get warning of no-fly zones. And usually you'll see a lot of swaths carved out if, like, Air Force One's flying through. But for some reason, these NOTAM reports have all these little circles all around that you can't fly through where the drones were. And I've seen that. And when did the drones, they suddenly stopped? When?
Right.
Right before Inauguration Day.
Yeah.
And no one talks about the drones anymore.
Yeah, it's gone.
Gone.
I mean, it was mainstream news all over the place.
And they had people nervous.
Yeah.
They had them nervous, and I think that was the point.
So you think they did it as a psyop just
Yes.
to see how people would react?
I do. And remember, I know nothing.
Right.
But that is my opinion, is that it was a psyop. And that most of this is.
If there are visitors, and they are from somewhere else, wouldn't the best way to prepare us is to start flying a bunch of like really wacky shit that we have in the air and not explain it?
That would be a good way to prepare us. You know, he's got top secret clearance, and he found the Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah. I played this clip because I'm going to play a clip next about DARPA and how whatever technology that we have, you'll see it. It's just because they're done with it, and they have 30 to 40 years of advancement to everything we have technical right now. I'm pointing at my computer, my mic, my acoustic library reference, you know, all this stuff. Whatever they got, way, way better. Okay? So if they want us to be privy to some of the technology, maybe they do it like this. I don't know. Entertainment, just my theory. Watch this next clip. Watch it, man. What's going on? How are we able to tell what, man? Woo!
DARPA could be 40, 50 years ahead of us in technology.
Yes, definitely. We've been exploring the ocean since like the 50s with ground penetrating sort of radar or sonar, looking for crafts that we lost. So we've been exploring that quite a bit. I think it would be safe to assume that we're at least 30 years ahead in tech.
What does that mean for something like AI then?
I would hope to think that if we did reach 0 point on AI or the peak of creating artificial intelligence, that we would hear about it instantly. Like that would just change everything. It would exponentially grow and just take over everything. But in the event that we wouldn't find out, then I think, yeah, it does exist. For sure, whatever the government has is better than what we have.
When I listen to David Fravor's testimony, he's always really stood out to me because he's just like describing what he saw, and then he gives you a video of like, here's what it was, here's where it moved. And he's like, listen, it could be alien. It's something that we definitely didn't know about technology-wise, so what the fuck is it?
And he's like, it is not Lockheed Martin.
DARPA could be 40, 50 years.
Yeah, it may not be Lockheed Martin. It may be the old DARPA boys. And even the soldiers, even the big congressional hearing of these UAPs coming out of the water, all this kind of stuff, right? And I've been saying this from the beginning, because they are showing us that stuff. It's because they want us to see it. This is all for entertainment. But it could be technology, Project Bluebeam. But, you know, it's painted in the narrative of interdimensional beings, angels, demons, aliens, you know? That's why I got this channel. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'm super interested in all this stuff because I'm questioning everything. You know what I mean? And as I do that, more questions. And then more puzzles. And then more questions. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Help me. Let's help each other understand. Yes. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so very much. We're getting there. We're almost done. Ooh, I appreciate all of the engagements, all of the views. Much love. Let's roll.
And just like that, the mysterious fog is back. Now it's been...
Okay. You can kind of see the sunlight coming in over my shoulder right there. I live in Texas. The past 3 or 4 days, I've had alerts on my phone saying dense fog in your area. And it has been. There's been fog every single day. We don't get a lot of that here. It's weird that they call it radiation fog too, but that's... You watch. Watch.
Reported that a 400-mile-long radiation fog blankets 13 million Americans in California. And if you guys remember, the same time last year where we had this mysterious fog covering over 30 states where there's reports of residue, weird smells, well, this time there's even more dots connect. Now they're calling it radiation fog due to when the ground cools off quickly after sunset, radiating all the heat back into the air after the fall and winter. Here's why they're calling it dangerous. They're saying the toxic particles from factories and car exhaust get trapped in the fog, which causes various respiratory problems. Basically, they're saying this fog doesn't move, it just stays on top, like spraying aerosol in a bowl and putting a top on it. But are we buying any of this? Because for one, that doesn't sound right. Two, here's a US patent for processing apparatus for the production of intense artificial clouds, fogs, and mist. And here's what that apparatus looks like for good measure. Coincidence? Let's keep going. Now, speaking of weather and radiation, just last week, they grounded over 6,000 Airbuses due to solar radiation impacting their flight systems. There's even reports of a JetBlue flight that lost altitude, injuring over a dozen people because of this. Not to mention, Julian Assange actually warned us about this back in 2018.
Intelligent evil dust scattered everywhere like confetti in everything.
Now, on one hand, they could be manipulating the weather to the point of no return where our atmosphere is completely cooked, resulting in things like this. There's a nationwide Arctic blast set to hit possibly new record lows across 15 states. Or it could be one big psyop that we're falling for again because the Illuminati card game that predicted everything in the last 30 years strikes again. I mean, you have the International Weather Organization card, you have the weather satellite card that reads, real weather satellites don't just report the weather, they change it. You can't make this up. Make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, but what do you guys think is going on? Let me know below. And just...
Definitely check out The Maverick Approach. Damn. Yeah. I remember the fog last year. It smelled like burning plastic. I experienced it myself. It was so strange. It was just kind of everywhere. No matter where you went, you're like, it smells like somebody's car battery is burning or something. But there was a fog present at the time. Entertainment, remember, that's all I'm doing. We're talking about cloud seeding. Now we got this fog, Freedom of Information Act. They have a thing that can do this. You can do research on nanoparticles. The things that they release in the air to, control the moisture and all that stuff. That technology goes all the way back to Vietnam. They made it rain on the Ho Chi Minh Trail with, like nickel and beryllium. I can't remember all the different things they put into the air. And then if you want to go down a super deep rabbit hole, do just a little bit of Google research, or especially on a TikTok or one of these things, on the Illuminati card game. You can buy it. It's crazy and scarily accurate to what's going on and what has happened. Man, I don't know. And all that could just be a psyop thing, Just, I am, man. I try to make a positive out of everything. Even the darkest of holes of rabbitness. I'm thankful I'm here discussing it with you and attempting in my own, janky bro science way. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, and I'm using my fellow human beings, the hive mind of organicness, us, to maybe figure this out. And if we need to escape or change things, this is entertainment, and I'm kidding. Maybe we can. Okay, let's go.
It's like Alaska's earthquake situation escalated again. Now the new 24-hour window shows 143 global quakes, with 118 of them in Alaska.
This is 15 hours
so in 2
ago.
days, Alaska has been hit by at least 228 earthquakes with a magnitude of 3 and above. That is a fault that is still moving, still adjusting, and possibly loading for another major break. This is happening on the same Pacific plate that drives the Cascadia subduction zone. When you see this much motion at one end of the system, it raises real concern about the overall state of the plate, even if Cascadia has not broken yet. It is quiet for now, but it is part of the same larger story. The next 48 hours are critical for watching how this swarm behaves. Share this video and follow me, because I am tracking these earthquakes and any change near Cascadia in real time for you. Alaska's earthquake situation.
All right. I don't know if you heard me because I was talking over it. This was 15 hours ago. This morning I wake up, and on the other side of that plate, tectonically, or the ocean, because that's there too.
And now to some breaking news happening in Japan. Parts of that island are now under a tsunami warning after a massive 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck off Japan's eastern coast this morning. Local media say there are nuclear power plants in the region, and they are running safety checks ahead of a possible 10-foot wave. Again, this just coming in. Will bring you more developments as we get them. And now to some breaking news happening in Japan.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Earlier in my clip montage, I was showing the solar flare pole shift situation. If you do any research on that, there is some evidence that sunspots, coronal mass ejections, those have direct relation to the tectonic plates, the liquid metal inside the earth, and the shifting of that stuff. In turn, the pole shift. I'm not smart enough to give you this information correctly, but it appears things of this nature are ramping up. I think it's worth a little research if you feel like going down this, I don't want to say rabbit hole, information avenue. That sounds better, right? Yeah, crazy. 7.6, man. Like I said, I'm almost 50. I remember that one back in, I think it was 94 that hit LA, and just, I don't think it was that big. And the amount of devastation that it caused. I'm talking about highways collapsed, you know, the big bypasses and stuff just collapsed on top of it, man. If you're old enough and remember that shit was crazy. Okay, last one. I had to do a clip on this because it drives me nuts.
Police are testing body cameras that scan your face for warrants just for walking past them. Axon, the company that makes tasers, is running the first test in the world right now in Edmonton, Canada. Here's how it works. A cop walks past you, their body camera scans your face, it checks you against a database of people with warrants or safety flags. You don't have to do anything, you just have to exist near a police officer. The Electronic Frontier Foundation says this destroys privacy for anyone who happens to walk past a cop. Axon paused this technology in 2019 because their own ethics board said it was too dangerous. Now they're testing it anyway. Today it's Canada, but Axon is the biggest supplier for body cameras for police departments in America. Police are testing body cameras that scan your face for warrants just for walking past them. Axon, the company that...
Okay. That's the Dylan Schmidt, I think I'm saying his last name correctly, on TikTok, and he does a bunch of these. Like, I could spend an hour just giving you clips of all this crazy surveillance that is happening now and that is being prepared for the future. A lot of this stuff, of course, is controlled by artificial intelligence, and it does the facial recognition and whatnot. Hey, look. AI makes mistakes all the time. I've corrected AI mid-question going, but what about? And it goes, oh, yeah, you're completely right. My bad. I didn't catch that. What if it thinks? I mean, if you look at me, I'm a sweetheart of a dude. I love everybody. But I realize, because when I'm out in public, and if I happen to be thinking and I have this face on, and I meet eyes with someone, they think I'm a bad guy. I'm not. I've never been to jail. I look like I've been to jail, okay? You know what I mean? I got kind of that. But what if this thing makes a mistake and I'm hemmed up and, you know, whatnot, potentially lose my job, and it's all because this system was like, you look like a dude that did some things, so we're going to arrest you anyway. I'm just pretending, talking out loud. All right, y'all, we did it. That's it. That's it for the day. I think we're almost at an hour anyway, I believe. Hail to the yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate everyone that makes it to the ends of these. God. Because if I check my analytics, not everybody does. I get it. We got a lot of overstimulation in the world, and maybe I'm just not everybody's cup of tea. But for those OG day takers that make it to the end, hail to the yeah. You know I love you. That's love, brothers and sisters. Love. Shout out to my commenters once again. My Aussies. My New Zealands. Fuck yeah. It doesn't matter where you're from, but I really do appreciate it. And I just love that part of the world. I've been talking about doing a workout video. Okay. I'm going to do it. And my plan is, I have just decided in the next 24 hours, I'm going to try to get it done today. I'm just the technical side. And I'm making excuses. And I think I'm just going to, whatever I produce, I'm going to put it up. And I'm trying to make something that is kind of easy for anyone to do. Especially if you're starting from zero. Maybe you have physical constraints and stuff. So I'm trying to find something, because the market is so saturated with the workout stuff. So be looking for that. Yeah. I'm excited because I want to share, but I want it to be good. So, you know, I'm paralysis by overanalysis, but I'm going to get it, okay? And the reason I'm telling you is because it holds me accountable. You know what I mean? Plus, one of the commenters, subscribers, one of the tribe that was talking to me said that they would really be interested in it. So stuff like that just makes me accountability for real. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Today is Monday the 8th. Don't hate, participate, nothing but mother penetrate. You already know what it do, y'all. Ha ha. I'm gonna play a little music. I'm gonna get us out of here, and then I think I just lost sound. Test. Okay, yeah, no, I think we're there. I think it's just my headphones. All right, ha ha, we back. Like I said, music. I'll see y'all next time. Dick gonna dip. I'll see you on the flip. Remember, share your love, spread your knowledge, and I promise the day you'll find yourself taking. Dictate the day, everybody. Hell to the yeah.